In this video, I am going to break down the exact step-by-step process on how to apply to a congressional internship. As a matter of fact, I am going to apply to a congressional internship. I am going to go through this congresswoman's website that you see on the screen, and I'm going to show you the exact process that it takes to apply to an internship. I'm done gatekeeping. This is the exact process that the vast majority of congressmen and congresswomen are looking for you to follow, the exact 9 step application process that you should be able to go through after watching this video and follow along so you can hit the application button with me. Why am I doing this? Because 4 years ago, I landed an internship in Congress on Capitol Hill. It was the most life changing experience for me, especially as a minority student, Hispanic, living in Miami, no DC connections. I landed one of these opportunities and it completely shifted the landscape of my career. It opened the doors to government, it opened the doors to legal opportunities, and I want you to have those same opportunities. But we won't be able to get there until we hit the apply button. And I think with the vast majority of students, especially the minority ones, the vast majority of you are capable. But the only thing you don't do is hit apply because there's a mental barrier. There's a belief error. There's something in you that believes that Washington, D.C. is out of your reach. And this is not a video talking about the resources to get there. I'm going to be making videos as to how you fund your internship, how to actually get to DC. But you don't do that until you apply. Because when you apply, then you go through the interview process, you get your acceptance letter, and with the acceptance letter, I will teach you how to leverage that to fund your DC internship and break those limiting beliefs. Have your family proud of what it is that you're doing so that you'll be able to have that internship on your resume. But without further ado, I want you to, if you want more information on everything that I have to offer, first link in the description. I'm building the biggest online community of students who are looking to land and fund their congressional opportunities without having to take out loans, right? So let's go into it. So the very first thing that you want to do when you are applying to a congressional internship is you go to the specific politicians page that you're looking to apply for. Like I said, I'm done gatekeeping. This is the exact process you follow to intern in Congress. So usually in every single congressman website, vast majority, usually you go to services, which I'm going to click here, and then it's going to show up something called internships, something students, college opportunities, right? So in this case, it's called for students, and then you go to college internships. There's nothing crazy. You want to just go there. And so once you go to the bottom, you can read this little paragraph, right? But the vast majority, when you are applying to congressional internship opportunities, the vast majority of politicians are going to have the exact same 9 step process to apply to the internship. I'm telling you, I've gone through the research, I've researched different politicians. 90%, if not 80% of politicians are utilizing this framework. And I think it is the most beneficial to understand this framework because if you understand this framework, a lot of the other applications that may look different for other politicians, you actually be better prepared because they don't require as much as this 9 step process. But trust me, I didn't apply using this 9 step process, but I'm here to tell you why I believe this 9 step process looks way more intimidating than it actually is. Because when I'm gonna go through it, I'm not gonna give you guys my personal information, so I may be skipping through some of the steps, but I'm going to go through each page, even if empty, and I'm gonna showcase to you exactly how to answer each question, what information you have to put, and you're gonna see that really the only ones that matter most are the 6, 7, and 8. 1 through 5 is just basic information, regular information. It's way more intimidating than it looks. And so long as you have your resume ready and your cover letter ready, which I showcased to you in other YouTube videos that I've already made. So if you want to do that, first of all, get that off the bat. Watch those videos, then come back to this one so you can hit your application. If not, you want to do that later on, or you already have your resume and cover letter, then follow this framework, right? Because at the very end, for every single opportunity, they're going to ask you for your resume and your cover letter, which that's a separate thing. I'm not going to talk specifics on this video. The goal of this video is to tackle miscellaneous things that the application is asking you and going through every single step in the process, so you know that it's not that hard to apply. It's very intimidating. They make it intimidating with this 9-step framework, when really it's just 6 to 7 and 8 that you have to follow. And even then, once you do your resume and once you do your cover letter, this should be a very basic application. I'm telling you that most of the questions that they're asking is just an example, or just to re-emphasize the things that are already on your resume and cover letter. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so 90% of them, you're gonna see this. You're gonna see a little paragraph, or you might not see anything. You're just gonna see this 9-step process. And I'm going to show you me going through each one, but I'm also going to show you 2 miscellaneous examples of different representatives, House of Representatives, that do it a little differently, but this is the main one that you're going to emphasize, right? So I'm going to put my name and my last name, no gatekeeping. You guys already know that. I am a human, and then we're going to go to the next page. Let's do it. And I forgot that I am a Mr. All right. So all you gotta do is put your name and first name for the very first one, and you're done. All right, let's go to the second one. So this one, I'm gonna edit this one out, but all you have to do is put your address and your email. That's literally it. So right now, I'm gonna put my address and my email, and we're gonna skip to the third one. Okay, so now we're in the third step. All you have to do is put your phone number. Like I said, for purposes of this video, I'm not gonna put my phone number. I'm gonna skip to the next step. I can't skip on it until I put my phone number, so you might see an edited part of this video, but I'll see you in step 4. All right, now we're on step 4. And this one, they want you to put your permanent address if it's different from your current address. This may be if you're a college student, if you live in a dorm, but a lot of you guys that are watching me are minority students commuting to and from your parents' house. You might not have to do this, but if you, for whatever reason, are living in a dorm and then you have your parents' home or somewhere you grew up, this is going to come in handy if you are applying to a congressman or a congresswoman that is from the district that you grew up in. Because some of these congressmen will prefer, if not most of them, will prefer if a candidate that's from their district, or at least give preference to them. So it will be beneficial that if your home address is different, to put your home address. Once again, this is a verified field. Actually, I think I might be able to skip it because it actually isn't different for me. So now the 5th one, emergency contact. Notice how we are breezing through the application. It's not that hard. I'm telling you, it is not that hard. I just want to say on the record, there is no association I have with this congresswoman. I just chose the very last one that I saw on the U.S. House of Representatives page, and it just happens to be that as I started to check through each and single politician on that page, this 9-step framework just kept popping up. And so this is just an example. I don't have any affiliation with this congresswoman. I'm not helping her out in a very specific way. I really have no correlation. There's no vested interest in any of this. This is just me showcasing to you how this framework works for most Congress people. So in this 5th step of the process, you want to just put emergency contact. Like I said, I'm not going to showcase to you who I'm going to put, because at the end of the day, I'm not even trying to submit an application. I'm not intending to submit an application. I'm just here to show you all the steps in the process so that I'm done gatekeeping. You can see what it is to get to step 8. You do not want to miss the very end. So like I said, I'll see you in step 6. All right, so now we're in step 6, which this is where it starts to get a little bit into the meat of potatoes of your application process. But fear not, Brian is here to save you in the application process. So is academic credit available for internships? Actually, I did a video explaining and elaborating why you should or you should not do academic credit for a congressional internship. It's not for everybody, but it may be beneficial to you, and it may affect the financial availability of that semester if you go to DC. So if you want more information as to whether this is something that you should consider, watch that video. Nonetheless, in this specific question, you don't have to put whether you want to do academic credit. You only have to put whether your school offers academic credit. So this is not something that necessarily you have to decide right now, but if something that your school offers, then it may be beneficial to just check box yes, and that's it. Schools attended, beginning with your current school. So if you're a transfer student, utilize your community college, and then utilize your current university that you're part of, right? For me, I went to Florida International University, and then I also got my associates from Miami-Dade College when I was in high school. So I'll add those. And then the year I'm in school, for whatever reason, I'm just going to put 3 because I'm actually no longer in school. I'm not intending to submit this application. So I'm not here trying to input false information. I'm actually going to be using my real resume and my real cover letter that I utilized when I applied to the internship for Congress beforehand. But I'm not intending to submit the application. I'm just want to showcase to you guys how the process is. And let's just say my graduation date, May 15th, 2026. Like I said, none of this has to be perfect. I'll put my real GPA here, but in order for you to understand this, you may not have to put the specific graduation date. Just put a rough estimate, maybe even put like the first of the month or the last of the month that you think you're going to graduate. Otherwise, it doesn't have to be perfect because this isn't a clear-cut process. If you have multiple majors, put your current major. I did political science. And then you could put like an extra major, right? And then that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. Advisor's name, I would say, yeah, just know who your advisor is. That's not really something that I can tell you who it is for you. I don't remember, so I'm just gonna put John Bill as in Bill in Congress, and then. For activities and honors, this is where, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, only 2,000 characters. What am I going to do? Right. So first of all, when it comes to activities and honors, I want you to just utilize the extracurriculars you have on your resume and volunteer experience. Yes, utilize those. Utilize like the top 3, maybe 4 most relevant ones. If you have less, 2 is fine. And then pretty much the 2 to 4 activities, extracurriculars, volunteer experiences that you have, leadership experiences that don't involve necessarily getting paid, then I would just put that on here. In my opinion, this is just showcasing extracurriculars on your resume, and that's really the main goal. For me, for example, I would have put Module United Nations, and I would have put my podcast that I did. Those were the only 2 activities that I would put. I had done internships in the past that were paid, but I would not put that here. I think that this is just gauging what is your correlation with the school that you're attending. I mean, none of this is rocket science. We're breaking down academic information. And so you want to make this academic. You want this to correlate towards your academic, whether you have a research experience, whether you did a project with your college, whether you did a research project, whether you do volunteer experience, you lead a club, you're a treasurer. These are the opportunities to put that. And the way that I would structure it, just so it's not identical to your resume, even though it seems a little bit redundant that they ask you this, is I just want you to put the position name, the organization first, United Nations, and then I was personally a debater in the United Nations team. And then I'd put maybe a 1-sentence explanation. Marty United Nations is a club, organization on campus, where students are, you can even use ChatGPT, like, hey, give me a 1-sentence summary of this, and just kind of utilize it in your own words. Where students go and apply, solution-based thinking to address world problems. And then you could say everyone represents a specific country. This is off the top of my head. Don't take this as face value. You probably have a better explanation than me. And then once you do that, You could put debater, and then you could even put like the years that you've been in the position. So in this case, 2019 to 2022, whatever. But you could put month and year, whatever, and then you put like a couple accomplishments. Don't make it identical to your resume. Try to make it stand out. You People that are reading your application are not looking for all this information. They're looking for things that stand out. So pick your top 2 to 4 activities that help you stand out, and pick similarly your top 2 to 4 accomplishments. You don't need this to be your resume, but if you have some great accomplishments, or like, oh, I helped lead a high school conference of 30 students, right? Of 500 students, then you put that. Oh, I was able to win best delegate or on this. That's a specific example, right? I helped lead a high school conference of 500 students. Excuse my plus students. And then this is all off the top of my head. And this is all very basic things. So you're going to be able to put a little bit more detail into it. And then I wrote a 20-page analysis on the Madrid conference of 1991. True story. This is actually true. This is all true. And then you could put like a separate one. You put here activities, and then you list your activities. You could even put like a bracket here, go 1, and then you could put 2, and then whatever it is, organization, position, year, 1 sentence explanation, 2 to 4 accomplishments. And then for your honors, just list your accomplishments. This could be dean's list, this could be scholarships, this could be, I don't know, you were awarded something from your university. Anything in particular that you were awarded for during university, always relevant towards what you did during college. No one wants to see these things you did in high school. We're in a different age, we're in a different time. You want to put things when you're in college, when you're in university. That's what's going to be the most relevant. It's going to stand out the most. And that's what, honestly, these recruiters are going to make most consideration of when it comes to what you're putting on your resume. Honors, honestly, you could put dean's list every year, like 2019 to 2022 every semester. And then you put Bright Future Scholarship. True story, I was a Bright Future scholar. Not Bright Future Scholarship. I was not a scholarship. I was an intern. But yeah, that's all you do. All you do is that, activities, honors, and once you have your resume done, this becomes drastically easier. So I really don't want you to overthink this. You're really just condensing what's on your resume, and then I would just recommend adding a little 1 sentence. Make it a little different. Be like, this is what I represent. At the end of the day, you want to add a little bit more information, but you don't want to overdo it. You want to highlight the things that are already on your resume, maybe overstate it a little bit more, and then you want to add a little bit more fluff of like, okay, what is it that this organization does? What is the mission? And make sure it ties to what it is that you're trying to accomplish in the internship. A lot of the internship is research, it's customer service, it's dealing with legislation, it's dealing with policy. And so you want things that correlate towards this congressional opportunity, and that's how you're able to get it. And now let's say we're done with the 6th page. Once you have your resume done, it makes it drastically easier. And all this information, your advisor's name, academic credit, is it available in your university? You move on to the next page. Okay, now we're almost there. This one, of course, like anything, is going to be something that, oh my God, what do I list? What do I put? What do I do? List specific issues or areas of interest for you. It's very simple. List. Keyword, list. Skills applicable to internship. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for skills. So when you list specific issues or areas of interest for you, I want you to showcase issues or areas of interest that you have skills in, that you have experience in. If I was interested in immigration, then I would put something that was related to a research paper I did, something related towards a Model United Nations paper I wrote. That's what's going to help you stand out, because they're looking for skills, right? But don't overdo this. What are they asking you? They're asking you to list it. And I promise you, listen to me on this. Do not put more than 3 issue areas because you don't have enough experience in more than 3 issue areas as a college student. If anything, I would recommend putting maybe 2, max 3. And if you have one in particular that aligns specifically to the congressman's interest, that might be the most beneficial for you. Anyways, 2 to 3 max. Max. I want you to put the very specific thing. Border immigration policy. And then explain it in one sentence. Border immigration policy, and then you'd be like, this is why I'm invested in it. One sentence explaining each. And then maybe try in like another sentence correlate it towards your experiences. And that's it. You're listing things. They want you to list it. If anything, even if you just put border immigration policy, gun control, and I don't know, something else, or you just leave it like that, that should be enough. But just put, if you want to be safe, one sentence explanation, maybe 2 sentences for each, and that's it. I understand it's 2,000 characters, but there's so many more opportunities why you are going to be able to answer these questions in more detail in the cover letter, in upcoming parts of the application process. So trust me, you don't need this to be crazy different. And what you should do is in this video, you should write down these questions in a Google Doc and just start answering them yourself on the side. So all you have to do is copy and paste and not rely on this having to be saved. Because honestly, I don't know if it'll be saved. If I refresh this, this might all be gone. So create a different Google Sheet so you are able to write every specific question and start answering it on your own. Like I said, border immigration policy, interested from when I was younger, immigration affected me growing up. I've been interested in current policy related to the matter. You could answer a specific bill that you're interested in, something that your congresswoman or congressman is working on, whichever one of the policy related to the issue. And so you can go specific, but don't overdo it. 1 to 2 sentences is enough per issue, and you don't want to put more than 3, because then when someone's going to ask you about it in an interview, right, they're going to be like, oh, so what got you interested in this? And then you may, if you have no experience, if you have no personal story, if you have no anecdote, if you don't have anything correlated to it, it's not going to serve you. So honestly, leave it like this. I'm putting very basic answers. Maybe add a bill, a little bit more specifications if you want to explain a little bit. 1 to 2 sentences, 3 sentences max on each issue, you'll be fine. The goal is list specific issues, and the goal is to look for skills, so you want to correlate it to the skills that you already have. In terms of the last question of this, it's very simple. Have you or have you not done an internship in DC or in the district office? If you did it in high school, that counts as well. And if you press yes, who did you intern for? And if not, you didn't. And that's okay, because I did an intern. I still got an internship in Congress in DC without having a district internship. So this is like, you either benefit from it or it stays neutral. Don't worry about it. I'll put NA for me. Now we're going on to the last page. Notice how simple this is. You list your specific interests of areas of interest. Then you put your activities and honors that are already showcased on your resume. And we're already on the last part. We're already on the last part of the application process, assuming you have your resume and cover letter. And that's it. And you apply. You could hit this application button for 5 politicians in a day. It doesn't have to be rocket science. Date of birth. I'm not going to put that. Desired locations. So, in my personal opinion, I think most people should go for the DC office. I think I'm helping people to get into the DC offices. I understand that everyone's process is different. If you want to put both, or if you want to put one, that's up to you. But I personally feel that DC should be your target, because those are the people that I'm assisting, and I think you are more than capable. because I myself was in the same boat. I didn't know if I should apply to district internship or DC internship. I was in the position where I had to choose. I didn't have the option. I had to apply to one or the other. I chose DC and I got the acceptance. But I understand if you want to play your cards a little bit better, you're earlier in college, do both. But I would recommend not sticking to just a district office. But I'll leave it up to you. For now, I'm going to put both because I understand that it can give you a little bit more leeway. Nonetheless, if you focus on just DC, it might give you a leverage point where you're like, no, I'm committed to DC. They're going to see this guy's real, this guy's serious, or this gal. Anyone that's watching, they're going to be invested in you. Nonetheless, we'll leave it there. And then for the desired sessions, I guess that'll be up to you, whether you're applying to the next cycle or whether you're open to other cycles. Like I said, if you're more specific on getting the internship earlier, the better. The more focused, the more aligned, the more set in stone you are, I think the better. But if you want to play it safe, you could also do that as well. So I would leave it up to you. If you need more flexibility, if you need some time to really understand it, I think that this might give you the most leverage, but you might be dealing with more competition, because then they'll maybe be like, all right, if this person was just applying for spring and it's the fall right now, they might give them priority to interview them right then and there if they're a qualified candidate. So if you need help deciding what it is that you want to do in these, we can just see if I can help you. Then that's where my one-on-one coaching comes in, or my one-on-one assistance comes in, because then I can help you decide, okay, you're a qualified candidate. If you only apply to DC, I think you're going to get it. And then maybe your options would be go to DC and then all three. That's where I feel like you'd be in. I'd be like, you're qualified for DC, but I understand no matter what season you're in, DC is competitive. Perhaps we'll do this. And that's where I think most people should fall under. But like I said, district is not the same as DC. It's a very different experience. It's still Congress. But I think that most people should be aiming for DC. That's why I called what I'm doing the Hilton Hub and not the District Hub, because I want people on the Hill. I think that's a reigning opportunity for people who really want to enter in government. Nonetheless, shouldn't overthink it. If anything, do this, and you'll be able to clarify more in an interview. Career objectives. So this and this very last one about writing a brief paragraph about yourself, including the reasons why you would like to intern in a congressional office, do not overthink it. Do not overthink it. So really quick, I'm going to copy and paste a career objective paragraph that I wrote for a scholarship that I earned, and I'm going to showcase to you how I wrote it. So look, this is the exact paragraph I wrote for a academic and career goals paragraph that I had to write for a scholarship paper. And then, I put my academic goals here, and then I put, as for my career goals after law school, I wanted to go to law school. Right now I'm not in law school, but that's something I did want to do at the time. I want to be a practicing attorney, focusing on this and that, preferably working under federal courts. I had the opportunity to do that. Looking in retrospect, look at the opportunities that Congress experience helps you obtain. I actually was able to do that. Long after my experience in the legal field, I started to pursue a career in politics, whether I started locally, work my way up to the federal government right away. That also happens. In this way, I can truly make a lasting impact on immigration in our country. And I work with immigration as well. So, I'm just reflecting on myself and seeing how my internship opportunities actually helped me pursue my career objectives. And that's what they want to know. I think with this question, don't think of it as a qualifying thing. Think of it as, if you've already done your cover letter, if you've already done all these things, you're interested in policy, you're interested in law, you're interested in something related to Congress. So it is an opportunity to just showcase what's the next step in your life. You don't need to, this is not the opportunity to showcase how to correlate everything. This is why I'm interested in policy. This is why I'm interested in this. No, you're just showcasing this is what I would like to do after this internship. Very straightforward. For me, it was law school and then practicing attorney. I would love to do this and that, enter government. Very simple. Notice this paragraph is 2-3 sentences. And that's it. That's it. And this is what I used for a real scholarship, Café Bucelo scholarship that I got. A $5,000 scholarship. I used this exact same question. So yes, I'll be honest. I did not apply in the era of internships where this 9-step framework was what I utilized. But this got me a $5,000 scholarship. So if I were you, I would listen to this, Do not overthink it. Overthinking will hinder your process because you only start the process of getting to the hill by applying. That's why I'm making this video, because the faster you hit the submit button, the faster we can get through the interview process, the faster we can network with these politicians and their offices, the faster we land these opportunities, and then the bigger battle, which is funding the internship. That is the goal, because some of you will land these opportunities and not know any idea how you're able to afford it, and that's where I come in. But I need you to apply. I need you to be qualified. I need you to do this. You are qualified. I need you to break out of that self-belief so you can hit that submit button, start landing these internships, because that's half the battle. Anyways, once I do that, name 3 references and addresses, right? So this is an opportunity where you reflect on your activities and your experiences. So think of any career thing that you've done, any service industry you've been a part of, any manager you've had, any president of a club, any professor that you were close to. Think of them and you want to reach out to them. So yes, maybe before applying, you want to reach out to them and get their addresses and their phone numbers or email addresses, right? Name and addresses. So they say addresses. So I guess in this case, you may want to put their real address. If not, just put their email address and or their office address, wherever it is that they work, right? So name, I want you to put name, last name, title of their position to you, which would be professor, it would be manager, etc. And then I want you to put location of where you know them. It could be the university, it could be the office, it could be the company. And then the very last thing, I want you to put their email and phone number, if not just email, if not just phone number. And then 3 of them. That's it. The faster you're able to get this done, the better. If you already have these connections, just look through your activities that we already went through. Look through your experiences, internship or work experiences, if you have any, and get 3. That's it. Reach out to them. You already have their information. And then just make sure that they know that you're applying to an internship. You could even inform them, hey, by the way, put you down as a reference for an internship. Most people will be fine with it. If they fit in any one of these categories, professor, manager, president of a club, they'll be fine with it. There's nothing crazy. Most of the time, they're just going to reach out, make sure that you want to just confirm that they worked with you, and that's it. Right? You put 3 of those. Very last thing, before resume and cover letter, and we're done. I promise you, this is not as hard as you would think. Please use this box to write a paragraph about yourself, including the reasons why you would like to intern in congressional offices. That's when you're like, oh my God, like it's the last part of the process. I can't believe it. What am I going to do? Do not worry about it. Do not worry about it. A brief paragraph is 100 to 300 words. This is your cover letter summary. That's it. I don't want you to overthink it. You made it this far in the process. This is your opportunity to showcase to the recruiter why you are a qualified candidate. You've already done that in the cover letter. I have a video explaining how to write a cover letter for your congressional internship. And this is your opportunity to showcase to the recruiter that you're capable. I'm going to show you my cover letter. I'm going to show you my resume. It's going to make this a lot easier. And I want you to see what I'm going to show you right now. This is my resume right here. All my experiences, my university experience, my work experience, my podcast, my internships, and my extracurriculars, which I showcase to you, the kind of things that you want to put. And then some awards and distinctions that I would mention in the honors section. The cover letter, I have a video explaining how to write a cover letter. Mine went very extensive. Yours does not have to be that crazy. Mine was, and very long. Nonetheless, take the first paragraph and the last paragraph of your cover letter. Finish writing this brief paragraph. And then choose your resume, cover letter, hit submit, and you're golden. That's the internship. That's it. That's all you have to do. I'm going to show you 2 more examples of different variations as to how to do it, and different congressmen as to how they go about their application. This congressman, it's the same thing, but he showcases it differently. 9-step framework, except he's not using little boxes. It's just one application. Forgive me, my voice is not that good right now. Different internship, different way of going about it. She doesn't use the nicer framework, but they want to talk about this. Congressional internships. So for her, there's some congressmen that won't follow the 9-step framework. Resume, cover letter, availability in cover letter. Don't forget that. Dates. You're available. Semesters you're available. Times you're available. Cover letter. And writing samples. 1 to 2 writing samples is what you want to use. My voice is gone. 1 to 2 writing samples is what you want to use. A short research project. And you're done. Most won't ask you for this. But if in case you find yourself needing a writing sample, that's the way you do it. 1 to 2 pages, research project, best example, and you'll be fine. See you next video.